You moved countries to escape struggle, but why does managing money still feel like survival? Did you know 62% of immigrants say they've never had formal financial education? I was one of them. If you're an immigrant or the child of one, you need to hear this. You moved for a better life. Maybe you left behind everything familiar, your language, your friends, your favorite foods, and the streets you grew up on. You arrived in a new country with hope in your heart, determined to build something better for yourself and your family. The promise of opportunity pulled you across oceans and continents, and you believed that with hard work, you could finally breathe easier. But as the days turned into months and the months into years, you realized that the journey didn't end at the airport. In many ways, it was just beginning, because even after you've made it here, managing money still feels like survival. Every paycheck is a lifeline. Every bill is a reminder of how close you are to the edge. You might find yourself lying awake at night, wondering if you'll have enough to cover rent, groceries, and the next emergency. You might feel a constant pressure in your chest, a low-level anxiety that never quite goes away. Why is it that no matter how hard you work, money still feels like something you have to fight for every single day? The truth is, most immigrants never learned how to think clearly about money. In many of our home countries, money was a source of stress, secrecy, and sometimes even shame. We grew up hearing stories of struggle, of parents sacrificing everything just to put food on the table. We watched our families stretch every dollar, make impossible choices, and hope for a better tomorrow. But rarely did anyone sit us down and teach us how to plan, how to invest, or how to build wealth. Instead, we learned to survive. We learned to get by. And those lessons, while powerful, can hold us back in a new world where the rules are different. We were taught to save with fear, spend with guilt, and hope it all works out. Every purchase feels like a risk. Every decision is weighed with the memory of scarcity. We hold on to money tightly, afraid that if we let go, we'll never get it back. And when we do spend, we feel guilty, like we're betraying the sacrifices our families made. We hope that if we just work hard enough, things will get better. But hope, on its own, isn't a strategy. And fear, while it can keep us safe, can also keep us stuck. But what if the problem isn't your paycheck? It's how you think about your money. What if the real challenge isn't just earning more, but learning to see money differently? Imagine if you could break free from the old patterns of fear and guilt. Imagine if you could approach your finances with confidence, clarity, and even a sense of possibility. The truth is, your mindset shapes your reality. The way you think about money influences every decision you make, from what you buy, to how you save, to the risks you're willing to take. And the good news? You can change your mindset. You can learn new habits, new strategies, and new ways of seeing the world. Today, we're going to unpack 3 powerful shifts drawn from the world's top behavioral economists and best-selling authors that can help you transform your relationship with money. You'll learn how to save smarter, so you're not just surviving, but building a future. You'll discover how to spend with clarity, so every dollar goes toward what truly matters to you. And most importantly, you'll find out how to finally feel in control of your finances, no matter where you started. Because you deserve more than just survival. You deserve to thrive, to dream, and to build the life you came here for. Let's get started. When it comes to managing money, most of us fall into a common trap without even realizing it. We focus on the immediate, the urgent, and the small details, like the bill that just arrived, the unexpected expense, or the tempting sale at the store. This habit is called narrow framing, and it can quietly shape our financial lives in ways we don't expect. Narrow framing means looking at each money decision in isolation, as if it's the only thing that matters right now. But what if there's a better way to see your finances? Quick question for you. Do you usually plan your finances weekly or monthly? Let me know in the comments below. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel Prize winner and one of the world's leading experts on decision-making, explains that most people naturally make financial choices one at a time. We ask ourselves, should I buy this? Or can I afford that? Without considering how each choice fits into the bigger picture of our lives. This approach is understandable. After all, life is busy, and it's easier to deal with one thing at a time. But Kahneman's research shows that this habit can lead us to make decisions that don't serve our long-term goals. Imagine you're standing in an electronics store, comparing the latest smartphones. You might ask yourself, should I buy this phone? It's a simple question, but it's also a narrow one. You're focused on the features, the price, maybe even the monthly payment plan. But what you're not seeing is how this purchase fits into your overall financial health. Will buying this phone mean cutting back on something else? Will it affect your ability to save for a family trip or pay off a debt? These are the questions that often get lost when we focus too narrowly. Or maybe you're at home looking over a loan offer. The question on your mind is, should I take this loan? You might weigh the interest rate, the monthly payment, and how quickly you can get the money. But again, this is a narrow frame. What about the impact on your budget over the next year? Will this loan help you move forward, or will it add stress and limit your options down the road? When we make decisions in isolation, we miss the ripple effects they can have on our lives. The problem with narrow framing is that it keeps us stuck in a cycle of mini crises. We're always reacting to the latest problem, an overdue bill, a sudden expense, or a tempting offer. It feels like we're constantly putting out fires, never able to step back and plan for the future. This way of thinking can be exhausting, and it often leads to stress, worry, and even conflict within families. When you're always focused on the immediate, it's hard to see where you're going or how to get ahead. So what's the alternative? It's called broad framing. Instead of looking at each decision as a separate event, broad framing means stepping back and seeing how all your choices connect. It's about understanding that every financial decision is part of a larger story, your story. When you use broad framing, you start to ask different questions. Not just, can I afford this right now? But, how does this fit into my goals for the year? What does this mean for my family's future? Think about your family, your dreams, and your plans for the next few years. Every choice you make, big or small, has an impact. Broad framing helps you connect the dots. For example, instead of asking, should I spend money on this dinner out? You might ask, how does eating out fit into our monthly budget? Will it affect our ability to save for a vacation or pay for our child's education? By thinking this way, you're not just reacting to the moment, you're planning for the future. One practical way to use broad framing is to group your spending into categories. Instead of tracking every single purchase, try organizing your expenses into a few key areas, like groceries, transportation, entertainment, and savings. This makes it easier to see where your money is going and to spot patterns over time. You can also plan across months, not just days. For example, if you know you have a big expense coming up next month, you can adjust your spending now to prepare. This approach gives you more control and helps you avoid surprises. Another helpful tool is the monthly snapshot. At the start of each month, take a few minutes to look at your finances as a whole. Divide your spending into 3 simple categories: needs, wants, and growth. Needs are the essentials, things like rent, food, and utilities. Wants are the extras, dining out, new clothes, or entertainment. Growth is money you set aside for the future, savings, investments, or education. By using this snapshot, you can make sure your spending matches your priorities and adjust as needed. Remember, seeing the big picture isn't about giving up what you enjoy. It's about making choices that support your goals and your family's well-being, both now and in the future. What money habit did you inherit from home, good or bad? Share your story in the comments below. Author Vicki Robbins says, financial freedom is about your mind, not your money. Many immigrants live in scarcity mode. Save everything, trust no system, work nonstop. Sound familiar? But that mindset actually leads to overspending, hiding from bills, or feeling guilty after every purchase. You need to shift to a value-based money mindset. Ask before every expense. Is this adding value or stress? Build joy-based spending. Budget for celebration, not just survival. Spend on values, cut what drains you. The real secret to saving isn't saving, it's systemizing your money. Why? Well, because emotions change. Life is unstable. Systems protect you. Immigrants often rely on instinct and hustle, but that doesn't scale. If any of this hits home, pause right now and hit that subscribe button. This channel is built for you. Automate your savings, about 10 to 20%, on payday. Use the 50-30-20 rule: 50% for needs like housing and transport, 30% for wants like enjoyment and self-care, and 20% for growth, meaning savings, debt paydown, and investments. Have you ever found yourself hesitating to open your banking app, or maybe even avoiding it altogether, because you're worried about what you might see. If you've ever felt a wave of anxiety just thinking about checking your balance, you're definitely not alone. For many people, especially those who are new to managing their finances in a new country, the simple act of looking at your bank account can feel overwhelming. It's a common experience, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. But here's the thing. While it's normal to feel anxious about money, ignoring your finances can actually make things much harder in the long run. When you avoid checking your balance or reviewing your bills, it might feel like you're protecting yourself from stress. But in reality, it's a bit like ignoring a warning light on your car's dashboard. The problem doesn't go away just because you don't look at it. In fact, it can get worse. Small issues can turn into big ones, and opportunities to make positive changes can slip by unnoticed. So while it's totally understandable to want to avoid financial stress, it's actually much safer and healthier to face it head-on. Think of your finances like your health. If you ignore symptoms or skip checkups, you might miss something important. The same goes for your money. Avoiding your finances doesn't make the problems disappear. It just makes them harder to solve later. But just like with your health, small, regular check-ins can make a huge difference. They help you catch issues early, celebrate progress, and feel more in control. That's why I want to introduce you to a simple habit called the Money Minute. It's a quick daily practice that can help you build confidence, reduce anxiety, and take charge of your financial life, one small step at a time. The idea is simple. Every morning, set aside just 60 seconds to check in on your money. You don't need to do a deep dive or make any big decisions. Just take a minute to look at your balances, see what bills are coming up, and notice any small wins or progress you've made. Imagine starting your day with a quick glance at your bank account, your upcoming bills, and maybe even a little celebration of a small financial win, like sticking to your budget for the week or saving a few extra dollars. This 60-second check-in isn't about judgment or stress. It's about awareness. It's about giving yourself the information you need to make good decisions without letting fear or anxiety take over. Over time, this simple habit can help you feel more in control, more confident, and less afraid of your finances. And don't forget to notice your small wins. Maybe you resisted an impulse purchase, or you managed to save a little extra this month. Maybe you paid a bill on time, or found a way to cut back on an expense. These victories might seem minor, but they add up, and they're worth celebrating. Recognizing your progress, no matter how small, can help you build momentum and stay motivated. The more you look at your finances, the less intimidating they become. It's like turning on the lights in a dark room. The more you see, the less you fear. When you make a habit of checking in regularly, you start to realize that most of your worries are manageable. You gain clarity about where you stand, and you start to see opportunities for improvement. Instead of feeling powerless, you feel empowered. And as your fear goes down, your ability to plan goes up. When you're not overwhelmed by anxiety, you can think more clearly about your goals and priorities. You can make thoughtful decisions about how to spend, save, and invest your money. You can set realistic goals, track your progress, and adjust your plans as needed. The less you fear your finances, the better you can plan for your future. So here's your challenge. Every day, take just 60 seconds to check in on your money. It doesn't have to be complicated or stressful. Just a quick look at your balances, your upcoming bills, and your recent transactions. Notice how you feel before and after. Over time, you'll probably find that the more you do it, the easier it gets. You'll start to feel more comfortable, more confident, and more in control. And once you've made the Money Minute a daily habit, try adding a weekly 10-minute money reflection. Set aside a little time each week to look back at your spending, review your budget, and think about what's working and what could be better. This is your chance to spot patterns, celebrate progress, and make small adjustments. It's not about being perfect, it's about being proactive. Before we wrap up, I'd love to know, which of these 3 money shifts will you try first? Finally, once a month, schedule a 1-hour money date with yourself or your partner. Use this time to dive a little deeper, set goals, review your progress, and plan for the month ahead. Talk about your dreams, your challenges, and your successes. Make it a positive, supportive experience. Remember, managing your money isn't just about numbers. It's about building the life you want, one step at a time. By making these regular check-ins a habit, you'll not only reduce your anxiety, but you'll also set yourself up for long-term success and peace of mind. You don't need more money to feel secure. You need better habits, a clearer mindset, and honestly, Just one strong system. Let's recap. Think long-term, not bill by bill. Spend on values, not stress. Automate your system. Stay aware daily, weekly, monthly. If you're ready to feel powerful about your finances, not just survive, subscribe for more no shame, no fluff money advice, made for immigrants who want more than just survival. Like this if you're ready to take control of your money. No shame, no fear.